All right, everybody, welcome back. Ready for another deep dive?
Always ready to dive in.
Excellent. So today we're getting into the world of eRecruitment. How does this eRecruitment thing actually work? Is it really better than the old way?
Right. What's all the fuss about?
But get this, we're going to see how eRecruitment can maybe even save businesses money, help them find the best candidates way faster, and this is key, make life easier for the job seekers too.
Everybody wins ideally.
That's the hope, right?
Yeah.
So
think about platforms with all the bells and whistles, applicant tracking systems, video interview tools, even AI that can analyze resumes and match candidates to jobs.
AI. Whoa.
Yeah. It's all about taking those tasks that used to take forever, like sorting through resumes, scheduling interviews, and using tech to streamline them, make them way faster.
So basically, it's like having a virtual assistant for hiring.
Kind of, yeah. Makes everything much more efficient.
Okay, I'm seeing the appeal. But let's be real, the FAQ kind of hypes up the benefits for employers. Is it really all that great?
There are some serious perks, no doubt. Remember those days when you were job hunting and it felt like you were limited to just your local area?
Tell me about it. Felt like I was missing out on so many opportunities.
Exactly. eRecruitment changes the game completely. Suddenly you've got access to a global talent pool.
Okay, that's huge, especially if you're looking for someone with really specific skills.
Exactly. You're no longer limited by geography.
But hold on, if you're casting a wider net, doesn't that also mean a mountain of applications?
Good point. That's where those applicant tracking systems, or ATS, come in.
Well, what now?
ATS, they're like the superheroes of eRecruitment. They help manage that flood of applications. Imagine software that automatically scans resumes for keywords, specific skills, you name it.
No way it does that. That's amazing.
Yep, it's pretty slick, saves recruiters a ton of time. But UT, and this is important, you got to use it wisely. You don't want a great candidate to slip through the cracks just because their resume didn't have the exact wording the ATS was looking for.
Right. So it's a tool, not a replacement for actual human judgment.
Exactly. You still need people to make those final calls.
Makes sense. Okay, so we've talked about reach, we've talked about efficiency, but what about the bottom line? Is eRecruitment actually cheaper?
It can be, but it's not as straightforward as, just ditching the printing costs and calling it a day.
Yeah.
You often have subscription fees for the platforms themselves. Plus, there might be some costs involved in getting your team up to speed on how to use them properly.
Right, the training and all that.
Exactly. But the potential savings in time and all that back and forth, it really adds up. Plus, the data these platforms gather, that can be pure gold.
Data? How so? Give me an example.
Okay, so let's say you're using Cinchy.me, right?
Yeah.
This platform can track things like how many people are applying for specific roles, where those applicants are coming from, even how long it takes to actually fill a position.
Okay, and that tells you what exactly?
It can reveal trends. For example, maybe there's a sudden surge in demand for welders with certain certifications in, let's say Queensland. If you're in the construction industry, that's like insider knowledge, right?
Wow, yeah. You can adjust your whole strategy based on that.
Exactly. You can tailor your training programs, target your recruitment efforts. It's like having real-time market analysis for your workforce needs.
That's pretty powerful stuff. We've been talking a lot about the employer side, but what about the people looking for jobs? What's in it for them?
Oh, plenty. Imagine this. You can apply for tons of jobs all over Australia without having to print out 1 million resumes and mail them. And you can track your application, see where it's at in the process, instead of just waiting and wondering. Plus, often you get feedback faster.
So no more wondering if your application just disappeared into the void.
Exactly. Much more transparent and efficient.
Okay, that's a huge relief. All right, so speaking of specifics, let's talk about this Cinchy.me platform. Why is it such a big deal for construction in Australia?
Well, it's designed with the Australian construction industry in mind, top to bottom. For tradies, it's like their central hub securely store and share all those important qualifications and certifications, which we know are crucial in construction.
Right, you can't just, say you're a certified electrician, you got to prove it.
Exactly. And for recruiters, it streamlines that whole verification process, makes it so much easier to make sure everyone's compliant with all the regulations.
So it's not just about connecting people, it's about making the whole system more trustworthy and efficient. Especially important in construction, right? Where safety and compliance are so huge. But is there a downside? Can any company just jump on this eRecruitment bandwagon?
That's a good question. It's not a one-size-fits-all solution. Smaller companies, maybe with tighter budgets, they might find it tough to implement these systems. And even though technology can automate a lot, you can't forget the human element. Building relationships, figuring out if someone's a good fit for the company culture, that often still needs that face-to-face interaction.
So it's about using technology strategically, not just blindly automating every single thing.
Precisely.
So for anyone listening, you got to weigh the pros and cons, see if it aligns with your specific needs. This has been a really fascinating deep dive. It's clear eRecruitment is changing the game for both employers and people looking for work.
No doubt about it. And as this technology keeps developing, it's going to be interesting to see how it shapes the future of work, especially in industries like construction, with all the changes they're facing, skill demands, labor shortages, the whole nine yards.
Definitely a lot to think about. But if you're involved in Australian construction, Cinchy.me seems like it's worth a look. For everyone else, keep an eye on eRecruitment. It's making waves. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive. We'll see you on the next one.